welcome to Science Mania. I am Ritika and today we are going to talk about the Class 7 Science, Chapter 8, Winds, Storms and Cyclones. So let us get started. Do you know that a cyclone had hit Odisha with a wind speed of 200 km per hour and it had smashed 45,000 houses, making 7 lakh people homeless. Property worth crore rupees were destroyed. It had affected agriculture, transportation, electrical supply. By now, you all must have the questions in your mind that what are cyclones, why are they so destructive, and how are they formed? But in order to answer these questions, you need to know that what is wind and how does it work. So for the experiment, we need a hot water container and a cold water container and a bottle with the balloon on top. So first I will dip this bottle into the hot water container and then I will dip into the cold water container. And let us see what happens. So when I dip the bottle into the hot water container, as you can see, the balloon has started to pump up. And when I put this into the cold water container, did you see how fast the balloon shrank? So these are the cold molecules. Do you see how lazy they are? These are the normal temperature molecules. They are neither too lazy, neither too active. And these are the hot molecules. Do you see how active they are? As the air warms, the molecules start to bump against each other, thus creating more space. And as the air starts to cool down, they stop bumping against each other and they become very lazy and inactive, thus reducing the space. Now, it's a fun fact time. Do you know that the machine that is used to measure speed of wind is called anemometers? This is how it looks. Now, let us talk about the second property of wind. That is, increased wind speed is accompanied by a reduced air pressure. Now, if you think about it, you might think that when the wind speed increases, the air pressure should increase too. But that is not what happens. So let us understand this. When the wind speed is low, the molecules in the air get enough time to put pressure on everything around it. But when the wind speed is high, the molecules do not get enough time to put pressure on everything. For understanding this, we will do an experiment. So over here I have 2 balloons which I have hung to a string, and now I will blow between them and we will see that what happens. Did you see? They did not repel, they attracted towards each other. Now let us understand that why did this happen. Remember that I had told you that with increasing wind speed, the air pressure reduces. So when I blew between the balloons, the wind speed increased and the air pressure between the balloons was low compared to the air pressure that was beside the balloons. So that is why beside the balloons there was high pressure and between the balloons there was low pressure. That is why the balloons had got attracted to each other. Now the question is that why does the air go from a region of high pressure to a region of low pressure? When air of high pressure interacts with the air of low pressure, it tries to equalize. That is why wind goes from a region of high pressure to a region of low pressure. Do you know that warm air is lighter than cold air? That is why the smoke goes up. Now, let us talk about the wind currents that are generated due to the uneven heating of the earth. Now, let us talk about the first one. The first one is the uneven heating between the equator and the poles. As you know, the equator is too hot and the poles are too cold. The next type of uneven heating is the uneven heating between land and sea. Remember, we had talked about the land breeze and the sea breeze. During the day, the land gets heated faster, and during the night, the land gets cooled faster. Near the equator, when the air above the land gets heated faster and it rises up, the wind from the ocean comes and takes its place. This causes the winds to float from the ocean towards the land. These winds are called the monsoon winds. In winter, the direction of these winds get reversed. The monsoon winds get clouds and bring us rain. Clouds bring rain, and not only rain, they bring happiness too, because in India, most of the farmers are dependent on the rain for their harvest. But these are not always happy. In nature itself, there are certain situations that can cause threat to human, animal and plant life. Two of the situations are thunderstorms and cyclones. Let us understand them now. Let us talk about thunderstorms first. Thunderstorms develop in hot and humid places, like in India, very frequently. Due to the rising temperatures, the wind goes up, which then converts to water droplets and then comes down back as rain again. The movement of the following rain droplets along with lightning. This is the event which we call a thunderstorm. Now, let us talk about the precautions that are to be taken during a thunderstorm, because we all need to stay safe. Do not take shelter under a big tree. If you are in a forest, take shelter under a small tree. And do not rely on the ground. Do not use an umbrella with a metallic end on top. Do not sit near open garages, steel sheds, metal sheds, etc. If you are in a car or bus, then you are at a safe place, because they are at a low height and are at a low danger of getting the lightning. If you are in water, then get out and go inside a building. Now we will talk that how a thunderstorm becomes a cyclone and causes massive destruction. Before cloud formation, water takes off heat from the atmosphere around it and converts it into water vapor. When the water vapor gets back into the atmosphere, that heat that the water had taken gets released into the atmosphere. The heat released into the atmosphere warms the air around it. The warm air tends to rise and creates a temperature drop. More air rushes to the center of the storm. This cycle gets repeated. The factors like wind speed, wind direction, humidity and temperature contribute to the development of cyclones. Now, let us talk about the structure of a cyclone. The center of the cyclone is a calm area. It is known as the eye of the cyclone. The diameter of the eye varies from 10 to 30 kilometers. It has a region free of clouds. Around this calm and clear eye, there is a cloudy region of 150 kilometers in size. Away from this region, the wind speed gradually decreases. Now, let us talk about the destruction caused by the cyclones. Cyclones can be very destructive. Strong winds push water to the shore even if the cyclone is 1,000 kilometers away. These are the first indications of an approaching cyclone. The water waves that are produced by the wind are so strong that a person cannot overcome them. The rising water may be as high as 3 to 12 meters. Continuous rainfall may worsen the flood situation. High-speed winds can damage agriculture, communication, electrical supply. causing destruction of life and property. A cyclone is known by different names in different parts of the world. It is called a hurricane in the American continent. It is called a typhoon in Japan and Philippines. Now, let us talk about tornadoes. In our country, tornadoes are not that frequent. A tornado is a dark colored cloud that reaches from the ground to the sky. Most of the tornadoes are weak, but there are some tornadoes that can reach up to a wind speed of 300 kilometers per hour and can cause massive destruction. Now, let us talk about the safety measures that need to be taken during a cyclone. First, let us talk about the safety measures of the government part. A cyclone forecast and warning service must be given off. Construction of cyclone shelters in cyclone prone areas so that they can move people and animals to a safer place. A rapid communication should be given to the fishermen, the ports and to the general public along with all the administrators. Now, let's talk about the action on the part of the general public. We should not ignore the warnings given by the government and the meteorological department through TV, news, radio or any podcasts. We should make necessary arrangements like shift animals and shift vehicles to a safer place. Avoid driving on roads that might be affected by the cyclone. And we should keep the phone numbers ready of the policemen, the fire brigade and the medical centers. Now, let us say thanks to the technology that has helped us in case of the cyclones. Because of the satellites and the radars of a 48-hour cyclone warning can be given, and along with that a 24-hour cyclone service is given off because of the satellite and the radars telling us that a cyclone is approaching. Several national and international organizations work together to monitor the cyclone related disasters. So this was all for the chapter Winds, Storms and Cyclones. I hope you understood everything. If you have any doubts, then please do let me know in the comment section below. And if you like the video, then make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for the upcoming science videos.